That was footage from the game between Nigeria and Senegal. It was a friendly match. But that thing about building a team, I'm stuck with that because yesterday when I saw that 11 players, 9 of them Nigerian. We have materials, but we almost always fail to get to the peak. Are we jinxed?
We're not. We're just very poor at planning. We're poor at setting up structures. The reason why there are so many Nigerians coming through the English system is because there's a system. From when those boys are kids, little kids, their parents would have, taken them to professional club sides where there's a structure in place. From the under 7s through to the under 14s, you would find a player like Ademola Lookman, who scored the second goal for England in the semi-final game at the under 20 World Cup. He had joined Charlton Athletic Football Club since he was a kid, and then they sold him on recently to Everton, where he's continuing to make the grades gradually. So there's a structure, everything is pre-planned. I remember Danny Jordan, the CEO of the first and only World Cup Africa has hosted, in the aftermath of South Africa's successful hosting of the World Cup in 2010, saying that the legacy of that World Cup wouldn't be the infrastructure, the physical infrastructure. It wouldn't be that many people who hadn't been to Africa before had been here. It would be that South Africa had learned from the best in the world that success really is in setting up a youth structure that would mean that on an average every weekend, at the minimum, there are over 1,000 organized games for young people under the age of 10. Organized, complete with match officials, organized, complete with, lush green pitches. And I spend a bit of time in South Africa. I mean, I do some work in Cape Town for between 2 to 3 months every year. So I know the South African system quite well. This team we're playing today is not a team filled with superstars. They probably have just 1 or 2 players coming from Europe. 99.9% of them play in the PSL, Premier Soccer League.
And they understand themselves.
They have a system.
But you said South Africa learned that.
Yeah.
What happened to us? Didn't we learn? We took part as well.
We're bad students of history. We don't learn. And it's not peculiar to football. You would agree with me. It's a problem that's plaguing us as a nation in all aspects, in all sphere, in all sector. We just do not learn. We keep repeating the same mistake time and again. We seek for a short, resolve. Fire brigade approach. We go hire some person from Europe. Yeah. We pick players who we didn't invest in their development from Europe. Yeah. Like Toyi quite rightly said, we're going to be bringing in quite a number of players that England has grown for us. Now, let me make something abundantly clear. If those players knew for sure that they were going to make the Three Lions national team, that's the senior national team of England, they would not consider Nigeria because they have absolutely no association, no emotional connection with Nigeria. Alex Iwobi, who's playing for Nigeria today, must have taken some convincing on the part of his his uncle Justin JJ Okocha. Otherwise, he would have been playing for England. Exactly. But because England has a bad history of using players who are not native English and dumping them after a while, that's why the likes of Olaino that Tony mentioned are coming back to play for Nigeria. If not, tell me one reason why they should. Nigeria has played no part in their development. Okay,
now, there's this football academy.
Yeah.
How is it doing? I'm referring to...
Pepsi or...
No. The one in Kwara State.
Oh, excellent.
Is it doing well in supplying us with? No. Is it like a conveyor belt?
I don't know of any player who's come through the Football School of Excellence in Kwara State who's playing in the national team, and they're not the only one. I, sitting down here, played 5 years in the Pepsi Football Academy. And know quite a number of guys who have come through, that system. Mikel Obi, shortly played there. Quite a number of guys, and there are loads of football academies in Nigeria. As a matter of fact,
loads. So how come we're not seeing the results?
I'll tell you why. Yeah. The most fundamental level of our organized football is the nationwide league, where you have academies actually playing, where you had the likes of a Bay Day of this world, the Ultimate Strikers of this world. Quite a number of those guys go to Europe. They get found out in Europe before they're even 17, before they're even 18 these days. European club sides just come cherry pick the best of them and take them out. Because if they stay back, they'll probably never make it in football. The guys in the Nigerian Professional Football League, you hear of them being owed 8-month salaries, 7-month salaries. They are carrying placards. They are protesting on the streets. I mean, they are traveling by bus and getting attacked by hoodlums, and all manner of things. Yeah. There is no system. There is no structure. Yeah. Almost 80% of the clubs in Nigeria are owned by government, and they are treated as an extension of government. Yeah. And you know what happens in government? Somebody didn't pass a file. All manner of things. So that is the reason why Nigerian football is not going to grow, except that we have a paradigm shift.
Okay.
How depressing.
Yeah. Quite depressing. But we've had some people coming to sign agreements. I mean, the La Liga signed an agreement with some clubs. It looks as if there are structures being put in place. Do we see those structures? I mean, seeing the light of day?
When an official of Nigeria Football Federation or an official from the Ministry of Sport travels abroad to go and attend a tournament, and where you have large pitches, where you have fans like 95,000. Brazil played Argentina yesterday, and they had 95,000 fans on the stands. We imagine that kind of stadium. Have you gone to the National Stadium, Sulere, before, in recent times? Have you gone there? You need to go there and see what I'm saying. You see, when you have such situations on your hand, you don't move ahead. Why am I saying this? Recently, SuperSport pulled out from sponsorship of our football matches. I don't know if you have an idea. They pulled out because the facilities they have do not, conform with, do not match what we have on the ground. The pitches, when you are having football matches, the pitches are nothing to write home about, and even at times the fans attack them. And you talk about the SuperSport equipment. Their equipment, their equipment are worth millions of dollars, if I have to put it that way. And when they get attacked in a venue, they start having some rethink about this whole partnership with LMC. So you see, like Bada said, there is no way you can forge ahead. Go and bring all the TV stations in UK, bring the ones in US, bring the ones in Canada. Let them come here. They will still tell you the same thing. Immediately we won the Olympic gold in Atlanta 1996. Everybody went, bizarre. Everything was like, we have arrived. Because it was the first time a black nation was winning the gold medal. Brazil, with all their achievement, they were only able to win the gold medal in the last Olympic Games, which they hosted. They've not won it before. But we won it in 1996. And that was that was like a pattern for us to lift ourselves from the doldrums of football in the world. But we never took that opportunity. So many people came in. Immediately we won that gold. They came in to partner with the Nigeria Football Federation. They came in to partner with the Ministry of Sports. But what did they find out? They found out that there was no structure on the ground. Even the people you are trying to help to develop the game, the people you are trying to help to develop infrastructure, we are not willing. They were the ones sabotaging your effort. So what do you do in that circumstance? You just pull out and go back to your country. What I'm saying is that, except we look at administration, except we look at leadership of sports, except we remove politics from sports entirely, I don't think we are going to make any headway when it comes to challenging the likes of Brazil, Germany, Argentina, Spain, in a world football.
Sorry, let me quickly add that the overabundance of talent that God has endowed us with, which gave us tremendous advantage over the rest of Africa before, is beginning to count for almost nothing. Yeah. Nigeria was strolling into semi-finals, finals at will just by showing up. Now we can't even qualify anymore because the rest are bridging the gap significantly. And look at our opponents today. After apartheid, they got back into football, won it in 1996, yes. But then just couldn't beat Nigeria because in terms of natural talent, they don't have as much. But in terms of organization, in terms of discipline, you look at them post that World Cup, they had tried to almost institute a deliberate pattern of play in the PSL, such that, as you quite rightly mentioned, when you pull players from all over the world together and they only have 4 days to prepare for a match, there's a problem because they play different philosophies at their club sides. But in South African football now, you see Wits, who just won, Sundowns, who won on the continent last season, Kaizer Chiefs, and the other clubs playing almost the same way. There's emphasis on technique, on speed. You'll see the players that will come up to play Nigeria, they will appear sharper, fitter, quicker, because there is a particular philosophy that they're trying to ingrain in their players. There's a particular sort of football DNA that they're trying to push. And at some point,
exist here.
It will come together. At some point, it will come together. The last time these guys came to Uyo, they raced into a 2-goal lead.
Yeah.
Nigeria had to rally to tie 2-2.
Yes.
And it was the reason Nigeria didn't qualify for the Nations Cup 2 years ago. So, and trust me, we haven't learned much. The only difference between that side and this is that we have a manager post a near disaster under Sunday Olise, who's calmed things down, who's imposed, his own ideas on the system to say, hey guys, you're not going to control me, you're not going to push me aside. Like Tony quite rightly said, he's got some pedigree, so he commands a respect in a bit of way. And then we're hungry for that success yet again, haven't been denied 2 consecutive participations. So maybe they're giving him some space to do his thing. Yeah. And as God would have it for him, results have gone his way. So far, he remains undefeated. And when you have results, only a few persons can argue against you. That's what I think is going for him. Because if he was on the back foot, if he was struggling to get results, he would have been dictated to. Yeah. People would have brought players from God knows where to impose on him. But right now, he's getting the result, and I hope and pray that he keeps getting the results. Today, you're going to see a young Nigerian team, arguably one of the youngest in recent time, a team that has been picked mostly on meritocracy, not because someone has brought a note from a minister or a governor somewhere, or some senator somewhere is trying to enforce him on the team. And that's the reason. It's a breath of fresh air. You watch the Nigerian national team, you see the Iheanachos, the Iwobis, the Ahmed Musas of this world. They've got youth, they've got talent, they play for the top clubs in Europe, and so we have genuine hope that Nigeria can do well.
So passionate. Prediction.
I think we'll take this one 3-1. The South Africans will cause us trouble.
Oh, he even got it down to the scores.
Yeah, I think they'll cause us a lot of trouble because they're a very young, energetic team with a lot of technical players. They play fluent football, especially in the middle of the park. We would have to deal with playing without the ball a lot because they dominate play. They're quick, they play in, little triangles all over the place. But Nigeria has got the superior firepower in terms of players and, the hunger.
I don't like predicting matches, but I see the Super Eagles having an edge over South Africa in today's match.
So of course, every Nigerian thinks we're going to win.
No, you see, like I said, in modern football, so many things, come into play when you have, we have not qualified for the last 2 Nations Cup, so and everybody is hungry to. Even South Africa was not in the last one, so
so they're equally hungry.
Yes, they are also hungry, and. When you look at our position, what concerns me is because when you look at our position in 1994, after the World Cup finals, we were 5th in Africa, in the whole world, in the FIFA ranking. We were 5th, So you go down the
38,
to 38. Yes. There was even a time when we were like 60. During the about 2000.
We spent more time closer to 100 than we have been to.
So we need to clean up our act.
So we need to use this match to and stamp our authority on Africa and move ahead from there.
We need to make a point.
Before you go, Roland Garros.
Yeah, my prediction is that
the ladies are playing today.
Rafael Nadal has a lot of experience when it comes to play. He's a master when it comes to play, and I'm tipping him to take the title ahead of Wawrinka.
Same here. There's not been a more dominant player in the last 10 years on that surface, and for that reason, I think Nadal would win.
Funny, my money is on Wawrinka.
Okay, let's go get some shockers.
What about the girls today?
Yeah.
Well, one of them is an unknown quantity.
Yeah,
but still, she's got to the finals.
Yeah, but again, in modern sports, you don't underrate anybody. And somebody comes from. You remember with the days we had Boris Boom Boom Becker. He came from nowhere and won the 1985 Wimbledon Championship. So you don't underrate anybody when it comes to the final. Because
so where's your money on the final?
The final.
The girls.
I don't like to predict. I don't want to predict, but for the men, I'm sure.
Nadal.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Nadal.
For the girls.
For the girls, I think I'll go with form. I think I'll go with pedigree.
Halep.
Yeah.
Okay.
My money's on Ostapenko. Even though the big occasion might get to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
She might just fumble and get nervous and all that. But she's seemed strong up to this point.
Okay.
So.
I'll keep my money in my pocket. Well, we've had Baja Akintunde Johnson, sports analyst, and Chris Obiako, football analyst. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thanks for having us.
I wish the Super Eagles well today. So we'll be back shortly. I need etiquette with
Janet.